Glad to have you join us in news now. My name is Margaret. Ubah, here are some stories we're tracking at this hour. President Buhari has expressed concerns over the activities of armed groups in different parts of the country, especially in the southeast. The president expressed his concerns on Wednesday while reacting to the brutal attempts on Senator Ubah, whose convoy was attacked in Enugu community, Enugu State, on Sunday, leaving some persons dead, including 4 policemen. According to a statement by his senior special assistant on media and publicity, Malam Garba Shehu, Buhari assured his administration is closely monitoring the situation and waiting to be updated on responses to it. He described the attack and the deaths as barbaric and condemnable, paying homage to the memory of the slain policemen and aides of the senator and commiserating with their loved ones. The president prayed for the quick recovery of the senator and all those that were injured. He equally prayed for the early return of peace and security in Anambra State and all other areas. In a bid to alleviate the sufferings of armed banditry victims in ZAMFARA State, the federal government has distributed food and non-food items to over 2,400 internally displaced persons within the state. The displaced persons, who consist mostly of women and children, are currently seeking refuge at the tsunami community within the outskirts of Gusau metropolis. They have been sacked from their various communities by suspected terrorists. Some of their family members have been maimed, killed and abducted, while the whereabouts of others still remains unknown. Through the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons (NCRMI), the federal government on Tuesday distributed relief items to the displaced persons. The exercise was flagged off by the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Hajiya Sadiya Umar Farouk. The food items, which would be provided to 400 households, include bags of rice and other grains, cooking oil, cartons of pasta and noodles. The non-food items consist of toiletries, mattresses, blankets, mats, mosquito nets, brocades and other items. The minister also commissioned a fully renovated and equipped library for the internally displaced persons and their host communities. The library, according to her, was renovated and equipped under the program Project Educate All. Away from that, the Vice President OSINBAJO SAN on Tuesday met the United States Special Presidential Envoy for Climate, John Kerry, at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. Kerry, who was Secretary of State under Obama administration, is visiting Nigeria barely 2 weeks after the Vice President OSINBAJO returned from his work visit to the United States. While the days of their meeting remains unknown, it is believed to be a follow-up on the Vice President's proposal for a debt for climate swap deal. And during his last visit to the U.S., OSINBAJO proposed a debt for climate swap deal to achieve a just, equitable energy transition for Africa. Explaining the DFC concept yesterday during a lecture on a just and equitable energy transition for Africa at the Center for Global Development in Washington, D.C., OSINBAJO stated that debt for climate swap is a type of debt swap where bilateral or multilateral debt is forgiven by creditors in exchange for a commitment by the debtor to use the outstanding debt service payment for national climate action programs. Justifying the rationale behind such a debt swap deal, the Vice President submitted that the commitment to it would increase the fiscal space for climate-related investments and reduce the debt burden for participating developing countries. The Vice President also proposed the greater participation of African countries in the global carbon markets while exploring financing options for energy transition. Nigeria's Court of Appeal on Tuesday reserved judgment after separatist leader NNAMDI KANU sought to have charges of terrorism and broadcasting falsehood against him dropped, his lawyer said. NNAMDI KANU, a British citizen, is in jail awaiting trial and denies the charges against him. His lawyers told the court that the charges lacked merit and KANU should be acquitted. State prosecutors opposed the application and want KANU to stand a trial. A 3-judge panel of the court said a ruling would be made at a later date. KANU leads the outlawed indigenous people of Biafra, which has been threatened for a secession of a part of the southeast Nigeria, home to mainly Igbo ethnic group. Nigeria's government views IPOB as a terrorist group and blames it on the spate of killings and attacks on government buildings in the southeast, which the group denies. An attempt by Igbo separatists to secede as the Republic of Biafra in 1967, the year KANU was born, triggered a 3-year civil war that killed more than 1 million people. And in more stories, the National Emergency Management Agency NEMA says more than 300 people have been so far killed in flood disaster across Nigeria in 2022. The Director General of NEMA, Mustafa Ahmed, disclosed this at a strategic workshop with stakeholders on disaster risk reduction and management held in Abuja. He said over 50 flood disaster alerts were received by the agency on a daily basis, with more 100 communities affected. According to him, the numbers have been increasing by the day. Ahmed said 2022 flood disaster will be worse than that of 2012. In 2012, NEMA reported that at least 363 people were killed and over 2.1 million people were displaced by floods. The NEMA boss blames state government for not heeding to the warnings, which he said makes disaster reduction and management very difficult. The former vice president and presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, ATIKU Abubakar, has promised to support the governorship candidate of the People's Democratic Party in Lagos State, Abdulaziz Adediran, in the 2023 elections. The former vice president made the declaration at a stakeholders meeting in Lagos. Now, IBrandTV news correspondent Korea has more details.
A carnival of assault at the presidential wing of the Murtala Muhammed Airport in Lagos when the private jet that brought the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, landed. The former vice president, Atiku Abubakar, said it was clear that the Lagos chapter of the People's Democratic Party is now fully ready to take over the state following its mobilization on the occasion of his visit. Atiku Abubakar, who was received by supporters and party stalwarts, said the present economic situation of the country does not reflect its true position in the League of Nations. The PDP hopeful said he will be giving necessary support to the party's governorship candidate, Abdulaziz Adediran, also known as JANDOR, and all others who are contesting on the party's platform.
JANDOR is going to be the next governor of Lagos State.
Former governorship aspirant in Edo State, popularly known as Rice Man, Barrister Ken Imaswagbo, and other stakeholders at the meeting said Atiku's meeting with the leadership and members of the party is a step in the right direction.
Your Excellency, the people here, they've been here since 8 o'clock in the morning, waiting patiently to see the man that is ready to rescue them from the hardship of this current administration. Your Excellency, they waited this long because they have never been this hopeful.
We've been waiting and waiting for him to come, but we're so glad that he's finally here. It's going to boost our chances of winning the general election. As we all know, everybody knows the former vice president is an added boost for us. Yeah.
Lagos not the carry last. With what I've seen, I can see that Lagosians have endorsed the candidacy of Atiku for the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and also JANDOR as governor. APC is gone.
The National Association of Nigerian Students has said it has taken its Wednesday protest to the stakeholders meeting of the Southwest People's Democratic Party. NANS, in a statement issued on Wednesday by its National Public Relations Officer Giwa Yetunde, NANS said the PDP's presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar has not taken any position to identify with the students since the commencement of the strike action by the Academic Staff Union of Universities on February 14, 2022. The statement read in parts, quotes, "Enough of playing politics with the future of Nigerian students, and once again we pass a vote of no confidence on the Ministers of Education and Labour, Madam Adamu and Chris Ngige respectively," end of quote. NANS had earlier scheduled the convergence point for its Wednesday protest to be at Iwo Road roundabout Ibadan. The Lagos State government has threatened to demolish some marked structures on drainage alignment and setbacks in Mende, Maryland, and ABORU in the Alimosho area of the state, where floods have wreaked of late. The State Commissioner for the Environment and Water Resources, Tunji Bello, in a statement on Tuesday said it is regrettable that after several such warnings, the residents of the areas have refused to move, but would rather resort to cheap blackmail of having nowhere to relocate to. Bello, who spoke against the background of a viral video of some people being rescued in Mende, emphasized that the area is a low-lying floodplain. In a statement signed by the Director of Public Affairs, Ministry of Environment and Water Resources, Kunle Adesina, the Commissioner advised residents of the areas to relocate forthwith. We'll go on a commercial break now. African news after the break.